Okay, look. You have choices. You can listen to this stuff. Yeah, gives me the urge to slip into some adult diapers and head on down to the early bird specials at 4:30. Or you can be like someone under the age of 80 and listen to this. This is what kick-ass Christmas music sounds like. Scaring the reindeer and busting some Christmas balls. The kick-ass Christmas is back. So, you can do this. Holy shit, it's like being hypnotized. Or you can do this. The kick-ass Christmas. Don't play your Christmas music safe. Play it toxic. Got an idea for a podcast and think you have the talent to make it a reality? Already have a podcast, but been thinking you could take it up a notch, but you're just not sure how to do it? Well, Toxic Entertainment has everything you need to go from podcasting to podcasting. Bring us your talent, your passion, and your best ideas. We'll bring to the table our state-of-the-art technology and comfortable facility, creative and professional staff dedicated to bringing your ideas to life, competitively priced packages to suit your goals and budget, and over 10 years of experience as a leader in the podcasting field. Toxic Entertainment offers quality and affordability that can't be beat. When you're ready to start your journey, Toxic Entertainment is here to help you reach your destination. Learn more at toxicentertainment.net or call 888-66-TOXIC to arrange a studio tour. That's 888-66-86942. Toxic Entertainment, where creativity meets passion.
What's up, everyone? I'm back. Turkey Day's over. A little vacay, a little adventure, and it is time to take it deep. It is Thursday, your favorite time of the week. I'm the Godfrey, TheGodfrey. You can find me on the interwebs. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Taking It Deep with the Godfrey on TikTok is there, but soon to have content. We have a lot to talk about today. It's almost like fate because we have Toxic Mike on the other side of the mic, and we might actually be bringing up tipping today, but with a twist. So it's almost like he knew it, and he wanted to be here to have his bullshit stance. But this is a totally different situation than what we've talked about before, but similar. You'll see. Stay tuned, and you'll get to hear about it. We got Warren on the other side of the mic. The silent assassin, that's going to be his name. He doesn't talk a lot on the mic, but he waves, so we're going to call him the silent assassin. But give everybody a nickname here. Got some sound effects if my fucking iPad ever works.
Uh-oh.
And it's
Blame Apple.
It is Apple's fault. Fucking Apple. Anyway, and we are in the thick of the holiday season. I came in today and I saw that the toxic Christmas tree was put up.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of shit because apparently it's a tiny little tree like
Charlie
Brown. Is that what you were going to say?
I was actually going to say that.
All week long I've been hearing it, Godfrey. All week long.
I think there's something to be said for a tiny Christmas tree.
What is there to be said for a tiny Christmas tree?
I think...
Go ahead. What's your spin?
I think it's a good thing, actually, because sometimes big Christmas trees are overrated. Fucking cleanup is bullshit. You know, you don't want to take it down because it's just so much shit going on. And I'm pretty sure you didn't think about the size. You probably bought it because of the color alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. That was 100%. I needed a black tree, and those aren't easy to come by.
So it could have been 12 feet tall, and he would have bought it. But unfortunately, they only make the tiny penis ones in that color.
Wow.
I mean, but you know what? Sometimes.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like a Christmas tree. What kind? The tiny penis one.
Speaking of tiny penis, I love how when you watch TikTok, there's always these girls trying to thirst trap everybody, and they're like these hot girls, and they're like. The video where like, do you want me? And they point to it. And it says 8 to 12 inches, and then it says like 6 to 8, and then it says 3 to 6, and they're like, I want you, baby. And I'm like, I'm like, you're so full of shit. You're just trying to get people to come to your OnlyFans. Stop playing. You know what I mean? So, yes, we started at 6:10. We weren't late. We were late on purpose, but we're still here. So it doesn't matter. But with that being said, got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to ask you if you guys are ready to ride the Omicron unicorn variant. Talk about that. That is exciting. Probably a lot of you are freaking out, and we'll talk about that briefly. The situation surrounding it, is it really as serious as it was before? Will they go back down the lockdowns or go to lockdowns? And, the booster shot, should you get it? I think you might be surprised by my answer, because I know some of you already think you know, but you don't know. That's why you got to stay tuned in. And speaking of tuning in, if you haven't heard our past episodes and you would like to peruse Toxic Radio, go to toxicradio.net and the app, and you can find all my episodes on all the major podcast platforms. Mike's raising his hand.
The brand new toxicradio.net.
I was wondering if you could.
Brand new, which is still a work in progress, but when you're a radio station, it's not easy to just put up the under construction where nobody can listen. So I kind of have to work on it while it's under construction, but have it live. But yeah, you go over there. It's live. It's in effect. Still has the chat room, and you can go there and check it out and check out all the past shows.
Correct. But favorite Taking It Deep with the Godfrey.
Yes.
Or Birds Deep. I'm on both, so that's acceptable.
Only those two.
Only those two. Fuck everybody else. No. I heard the Fishman was back last Saturday.
He was not back last Saturday.
Fishman I feel like he was saying that.
He did not do his show. He was here on a Monday. He was here working on the Toxic Radio's Kick-Ass Christmas. Pull your Christmas balls out and rock out with Toxic Radio all Christmas long.
Oh, so he's doing Christmas music.
Yeah, so he came in to kind of fill up the lineup with Christmas music. I forgot to divulge the information that Monday would be Punk Rock Christmas. So he did tune in on Monday, the next Monday, to find all punk rock and pop punk and ska Christmas music, which was kind of funny. But no, he was here on a Monday to be the program director extraordinaire that he is here at Toxic.
Yeah. Well, that is true. And that brings me up to, we're going to have a top 5 that I'm going to make you guys participate on a spot. Top 5 Christmas movies of all time.
By the way, Gene said that you forgot about Wire to Wire.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Wire to Wire every Wednesday, 8:30 to 10. 8:30 to 10.
Of the shows that everybody should listen to instead of just Birds Deep and yours.
Wire to Wire. I apologize. I'm sorry. I don't know how I'll go to glory. I've been away for a week and a half, so I feel like I had to reestablish.
Which shows presence. You're actually on.
Yeah. Gene is on their excellent sports show where they cover everything under sports. And they even talk about curling sometimes, if you really want to get into that. I think they told me on the side that they're going to start taking bets on curling. So
if you curling?
Want curling action, if you want to bet on it. I was in Canada recently and I saw curling, and then people were watching it in the bar going crazy over it. It was awesome.
I actually got one year I started watching curling, and I was just enthralled.
You don't even smoke weed. How is that possible?
I know. It was very, very weird. But I 100% the whole bar was into it. I was very intrigued.
I don't know. It's almost like they're jerking off the ice. Yeah.
I don't know where to go with that.
I mean, it's true.
I guess they're stroking the ice, I guess, yeah. Now I can't watch curling without waiting for the ice to just go, ah.
You know what I think would make curling more exciting and relevant is a streaker. I want to see someone streak during curling.
You don't really see streakers at any kind of ice hockey event or anything like that.
That's what would make it awesome. They have to run right across that line. They're trying to, shave so it goes farther.
But has there ever, so I'm not a big sports guy, has there ever been a streaker at an NHL game?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I'm trying to think of any time where you have ice, like figure skating, hockey, curling, where somebody goes, I'm going to get naked and run out there.
You're at a distinct disadvantage unless you're smart enough to get naked and put on skates right before you do, because
that's what I'm saying.
The players will be able to take you out if you get on the ice, or the referee, so you could get hip checked and fucked up real bad. And if you got shrinkage going on, it could be a humiliating moment.
So, and I think the person who does it will go down in history. So do you know where I'm going with this, Godfrey?
No, tell me.
You should wear, now you have to choose, either Birds Deep or Taking It Deep shirt.
Just a shirt.
And nothing else.
Oh, boy.
And run out there during a Flyers game. Can you do it? Do you have the cojones to get that done?
Do I have the cojones to get that done? I am not quite sure.
And which shirt would you wear? Birds deep or taking it deep?
I would get a custom one that had birds deep on the back and taking it deep on the front, or vice versa. I would get a custom one made where there's a logo on the back and the front.
I'm in. Go
Yep.
do it.
But yeah, we got tons to talk about. Should you be tipping your DoorDash driver? We'll get into later, or Uber Eats driver, Grubhub. Now, keep in mind that these are different than your regular tipping situation because these are 1099 employees that are contracted and not paid an hourly wage. So therefore, they have to choose to take your delivery. But we'll get into that later in the details. I can feel Mike getting all excited about that right now. There's an asteroid coming to Earth apparently, and we're going to talk about the Omicron variant. So we're going to put up a little video for you right now, like as we've been doing in the past weeks, and give you a little taste of what the president's thinking, what's going on. My usual suspects, Crystal Ball and Sagar from Breaking Points. Independent news people. They're subscription based, and I like them because they got people on both sides of the fence, and they don't carry the water for their party, so to speak. So they are my go-to for things like this because there's no fucking fluff. That being said, we will start. Are we ready for that? Ready to rock? And 3, and 2, and 3, and 2, and 3. It's all good. See, if you listen to the podcast, you don't get to hear shit like this. Listen live, you get to hear all the uncut.
Oh, sorry, a little technical difficulty. We got this. We got this. All right, don't panic. Don't start flipping tables over.
What Joe
we
Biden
got
said
this.
is, "Where's my Twinkie? I just had it a minute ago. Where's it at?" That's what he said right there. And he said, since you didn't hear it, he said,
latest
yes,
on
gas prices are higher because you go fuck yourself. No, he didn't say that, but.
Sorry, we the YouTube was muted.
Happens.
Ready when you are, sir.
I'm ready.
the new Omicron variant. Joe Biden making some comments yesterday about his plans to deal with that virus. Let's take a listen to that.
The best protection, I know you're tired of hearing me say this, the best protection against this new variant or any of the variants out there, the ones we've been dealing with already, is getting fully vaccinated and getting a booster shot. Most Americans are fully vaccinated, but not yet boosted. If you're 18 years or over and got fully vaccinated before June the 1st, go get the booster shot today. They're free. And they're available at 80,000 locations, coast to coast. A fully vaccinated booster person is the most protected against COVID. Do not wait. Go get your booster if it's time for you to do so. And if you are not vaccinated, now's the time to get vaccinated and take your children to be vaccinated. Every child age 5 or older can get safe, effective vaccines now.
I like the way he calls them fully vaccinated booster people.
Like,
So a couple things. The totality of effectively what he's saying here is in addition to the travel ban, which even some of his allies and the doctor we talked to yesterday said, this isn't really going to do anything. This is more theater than anything else. He's effectively saying, look, we're not looking at any lockdowns, but we want you to get vaccinated and we want you to get boosters. This caught both of our attention yesterday.
Very much so.
Because prior to yesterday, the CDC's guidance was that adults can get a booster, but that only people who are elderly should get a booster. Well, that guidance has now officially been changed because of this new variant. Let's throw that tear sheet up on the screen. The CDC strengthened its booster recommendations as worries mount over the Omicron variant. Prompted by growing concerns, the CDC and Center for Disease Control and Prevention on Monday said all American adults should get booster doses of the available coronavirus vaccines. Adults aged 18 and older should get a booster shot when they are 6 months past the initial immunization with Pfizer or Moderna, or 2 months after the single-shot J&J vaccine, which has proven to be somewhat less effective than the 2-dose Pfizer and Moderna mRNA versions. The CDC had previously said Americans over age 50, as well as those ages 18 and older living in long-term care facilities, should get booster shots, while other adults may decide to do so based on their individual risk. So shift in language here, but also significant. Now you have a sort of blanket encouragement for all adults to get their booster. Full disclosure, I did get mine over the weekend. I was taking my kid to get his first jab and decided I may as well go ahead and get my booster as well. I had very little minimal side effects, just so you guys know, full transparency. But this does mark a shift in terms of how the CDC is talking about boosters. And this is something we tracked for a while.
Yes.
Because frankly, there isn't a lot of evidence that boosters are particularly needed at this point.
Only for elderly people. For elderly people, it seems to work pretty well.
Right. And so, you know, one of the things that has been a little bit misleading about some of the media presentation of the vaccine effectiveness is, while, yes, breakthrough infections are a thing, and the efficacy with regards to getting COVID at all does seem to wane somewhat over time, you still have a lot of protection against severe hospitalization and death.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So, and I actually, it's bothered me that they haven't front loaded with that information, because ultimately you want people to know that the vaccines do in fact work, and it is worth going out and getting them.
Yeah, I think that this is, the communication around this has been a mess, and this is what we flagged on this, which is the president came out and said everybody should get a booster. Now, at the time that he made that statement, that was not a recommendation from the CDC. We're leading me and many other people to be like, hold on a second, did Biden just go ahead of what CDC guidance was? Then the CDC hours later changes guidance. Now, the reason I'm dubious and skeptical on this is that, remember the original booster guidance from the CDC and also from the FDA. We had those two top scientists at the FDA resign specifically over Biden and the White House getting over its skis and recommending boosters for all Americans. The two scientists resigned. Then the CDC came out and said, okay, we're going to revise our guidance on the booster. The official guidance is it's only for people who are 50 years and older, and also people who are 18 plus who work in a high-risk environment. That was the only eligibility. 3 weeks later, they change it. November, I think it was November 19th, they came out and they changed the guidance to everyone is eligible for a booster, as in you can go get one if you want, but you should only get one, should, being the, not the can, should get one if you're 50 years or older, plus 18, and you work in a high-risk environment. So all of this has changed within the span of a month and a half. Now, look, I understand, you know, my public health friends will be like, yeah, but Omicron, you know, the variant and changes, but you have to make this case very publicly to people, or they're going to be like, I don't understand what's happening. And that seems to be the real problem. I completely agree with you. Look, double vaccinated, like, yes, you can get a breakthrough infection. It happened to me. It does, you know, decrease your odds of it, like population-wide and all of that. And it's going to, you know, dramatically protect you from hospitalization and death. For a lot of the people who are worried about side effects and all of that, myocarditis is the one that is cited a lot. Your risk is actually much higher from getting myocarditis, even when you're young, from actually getting COVID, specifically long COVID, and especially those people who are a little bit older, 35, 40 or whatever, and above. If you look at the risks there, look, it's something you should decide for yourself, but it's something that I think we should address here on the show. Yeah. Hospitalization and death, and then, look, there's risks from getting COVID, and, you know, there's a quote-unquote risk. There are side effects, of course, from also getting the vaccine when you give it to hundreds of millions of people. You should compare those two things side by side. It's pretty clear, you know, which side I personally think you should fall on.
Can I also say, on the booster thing, I decided to get it because I don't want to get COVID.
Yeah,
even though I wasn't worried about
it's not fun.
I wasn't worried about being in the hospital. I wasn't worried about dying. But I, you know, just like I get the flu shot, like I didn't really want to get COVID. So that's why I got it. But I do want to say, for people who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you really should get a second one. Because that one, first of all, almost all of the protection against getting COVID goes away. You still do have significant protection against hospitalization and death, but it is significantly less than with the mRNA vaccine. So if you got the J&J vaccine, you should go get another one, because that one just hasn't held up as well as the other two have. Another thing that just broke, at least I just saw this morning, which you should take with a million grains of salt, because we're talking about a pharmaceutical executive who has a financial interest in everybody getting boosters and getting more vaccines. But the CEO of Moderna, which of course makes what has turned out to be the most effective vaccine, is saying that he doesn't think that the vaccines are going to hold up all that well against Omicron. Now, that is speculation at this point because it's just too early to say, but I'll just read to you what he is saying. He said the high number of mutations on the spike protein with Omicron, which is, of course, what the virus uses to infect human cells, and the rapid spread of their variant in South Africa suggested that the current crop of vaccines may need to be modified next year. He said, quote, "There is no world, I think, where the effectiveness is the same level we had with the Delta variant. I think it's going to be a material drop. I just don't know how much because we need to wait for the data. But all the scientists I've talked to are like, this is not going to be good." That's what someone who has a direct financial interest in us having boosters and having vaccines, a new vaccine every year for a new variant every year. No. That's what he's saying. That doesn't mean it's wrong. That just means you should take that into account. And on that note, while the stock markets dropped and oil futures dropped and there was financial fallout for most companies because of the Omicron variant, and by the way, these comments new from the Moderna CEO has sent the market even lower. Well, it hasn't been bad news for everyone, has it? Let's take a listen to an interview with the Pfizer CEO on CNBC.
This is interesting.
Do you
right
see
here.
this happening every year? We either get a booster, a regular booster of the same vaccine, or a slightly different vaccine every year to deal with what we're seeing with these mutations? Is that what you foresee? It's almost like for Pfizer, you'd be selling these things every year. Not that you want to do that. I'm sure you're not hoping for that, but it'd be almost like an annuity for Pfizer.
Yes. I did make a projection months ago that the most likely scenario it is that we will need, after the third dose, annual revaccinations against COVID for multiple reasons, because of the immunity that will be waning, because of the virus that I'm sure will be maintained around the world for the years to come, and also because of the need of variants that will emerge. I'm more confident right now that this will be the case than I was when I made the projection. I think we are going to have an annual revaccination. I don't know how we're going to call it, but will be an annual revaccination, and that should be able to keep us really safe.
I mean, you love the just nakedness of the financial press, like the stock prices.
I'm sure you don't want this to happen while the stock price is right next to it.
This is like an annuity for Pfizer, right, with the stock prices right there along the side. And listen,
all right,
as we talked about yesterday.
So, pretty interesting. A lot of stuff there to kind of extrapolate. But, me personally, I'm not getting a booster. And I'm going to tell you why. I got the Pfizer. If I got the Johnson & Johnson, I would get it. My girl got it. I'm going to encourage her. There's not enough data out there yet on it. Can the booster help you? And would I say you're crazy for getting it? No, I wouldn't. Can it help? Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing where people get mixed up. And the reason why I wanted to play that clip, even though it was long, is people always talk about nefarious reasons why people do certain things. Like Bill Gates, he wants to put a microchip up your butthole and your pee hole, which we know is bullshit. But that's what people go with. I still see people out there on TikTok like, Bill Gates, shut the fuck up. Capitalism, understand what it is. Everybody thinks capitalism is all roses and petals and smells good. No, it's called capitalism because you're capitalizing on a situation. So therefore, that's what these companies are doing. Did they invent coronavirus? Did they invent the Omicron variant? No. But where capitalism becomes crony capitalism, and where I have a problem is, what could they do to get more people vaccinated around the world? Let's not focus on the United States or even people that are saying they don't want the vaccine for various other reasons. I'm not here to debate that. But they could loosen the patent restrictions on the technology. Therefore, you can get generics made around the world in factories so you can get the coronavirus under control and maybe the mutations under control. I can't say that would happen. I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not, a virologist. I'm not an expert on disease. But what I do know, the economics of the situation is they absolutely want you to get a booster shot because they're going to make a lot of fucking money off of it. Now, before it was if you were elderly. I didn't go deep into the video. There's other videos that you can look at out there. There are people that resigned on the FDA over the efficacy of it, saying that it wasn't needed. Pfizer, as you can tell, and the Moderna has a little bit more staying power than the Johnson & Johnson for many reasons. But with that being said, getting vaccinated does help you protect against you getting in the hospital, which you don't want. You know, I got COVID. I didn't get in the hospital, thank goodness. I know people that did. I know people that were on fucking ventilators. Multiple people that were under 40. So the best defense against this probably, and I've been starting to try to do this lately, is if you're fat, lose weight, get in shape, eat better, build up your immunity system. And Joe Rogan's right there when he talks about that, and get vaccinated. So be fully aware for it. What people are probably afraid of when they hear Omicron variant is, oh shit, here we go for a shutdown. They're not going to shut us down. Joe Biden even said that. I know the Republicans were fucking, rubbing one out in a corner saying, oh, please say shut down, please. Oh my God, please. But he didn't. He didn't take the bait. And they're not going to shut down because people won't handle it. And quite frankly, I don't think that the government is going to be able to properly support, not that they did last time, all the businesses and people that will suffer from a shutdown, and it will just go apeshit. And here's the thing. That's true. Is that a new toxic slogan right there? You might not be a virologist, but you know when something's toxic. Was that unintentional? I don't know. So, are you going to ride the Omicron variant? We don't know. And if you do, that's going to be awesome. Omicron time, baby. Let's ride it. But there's not enough data on it. Stock markets are getting scared because they're trying to make predictive, they're dumping stock in case something happens, right? And they'll buy the dip, whatever. You're selling off your profits if you know it's going to drop, that's what you're going to do. Not here to give you stock advice, but listening to it, the booster shot is definitely a money grab. They just barely passed the Merck pill, that's the COVID pill. Therapeutics are going to improve when it comes to COVID. So we're not going to get shut down like we did before. I think people will lose their fucking mind. I don't care what background they're from or what political stance they take. People just don't want to go through it again. Am I crazy in saying that, Mike? Do you think people? I don't think if they tried to shut us down again, I think we would go apeshit. People would just lose their minds.
It's gone on for too long. There is too much that people had to deal with. I think even the people that are cautious, that do take precautions, that did follow the regulations and guidelines and all that kind of stuff in the beginning. At this point, it's just like you got to live your life, and that's where everybody's mindset is. So if they try to do it, more so than not, you'd have people not following, even the people that did follow the first time around.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I feel like, so the whole question is, should the government mandate people to get vaccines or force them? I understand why they are, but I don't think they should. But I think the approach should be more of an education approach to try to convince people to do it instead of forcing them. But with the booster shot, it's a definite money grab. 100% it's a money grab. Because if it wasn't a money grab, they would loosen the patents, right? And
I don't know if it's a money grab. I mean,
of course it is.
If you look at the fact that, the whole idea of a yearly flu shot is the fact that the flu shot doesn't last very long.
So that's not why I'm saying that, right? So you're right in a sense. I got the flu shot for the first time this most recent doctor's visit I had, and I've never gotten the flu shot. And I said to the doctor, I've never got the flu shot. She said, I understand, no problem. She said to me this, and this is what sits with me, as simple as it sounds. This is for the flu that will drop you on your ass for 2 weeks. Not for the little flu and sniffles. This is for the big boy flu. Because everybody always says, well, you could still get the flu. You're right, you can. But it's for the flu that's going to kick the shit out of you. I don't know if anybody's ever had the real flu out there. I'm talking about before, Corona was around. It's no joke. I've had flu for like a couple days, 2-3 days, but the real flu, it can kill you, right? And that's why everybody would get things confused, like, well, the flu could kill you anyway. But my point of bringing that up is this. So I would get the COVID shot, and I did get the flu vaccine because there is point out the money aspect of it is not saying, well, they're just making it for that reason. It's because of the way they did it. When in the previous clip that I played for you, the CDC guidance was if you're older, get the booster. Now, if you're 18, it's saying get the booster, right? So it's a definite money grab because if it wasn't, and it was more like the Bill Gates, let's make malaria vaccines in the poorer areas, they would loosen the patent restrictions. That technology The mRNA technology is worth lots of money. So where people get it mixed up is they say, oh, the vaccine's bad, and this is why they're doing it. They want to poison you. No, they want to make money off of it. And that's the truth about it. Are they wrong for that? I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion. But that's where people miss it. Because if you heard what the guy said on CNBC, he's like, this is almost, an annuity for you. And it is. Those guys that are in that position in those type of companies, shit doesn't catch them by surprise. I guarantee you they've had meetings upon meetings about what's the next variant. How can we be ahead of it? Let's tie the booster to it. This is how we can make money off it. And this is how you know they are a publicly traded company. What is their responsibility? They have a fiduciary responsibility to produce a stock price that is profitable. So that is the mechanism that is operating, right? The thing is we never ask the ethical question. And are we treating sickness or trying to cure sickness? And that's the problem in the United States. Because, I was in Canada last week, and I'm going to tell you, there's an inhaler in Canada that costs $27. Made in America, same manufacturer. Here, it costs $247. We make it here. It's designed here, but we pay the most. It's like going to Ireland saying, like, you're going to pay the most for Guinness, and you're getting the shittiest version. Now, the health systems are different, but that's the thing. Are they there in Canada for the help? Are they in... Gene, I definitely agree that man created the virus. I'm definitely not one of those people that say, oh, it came from a bat in a wet market. I think that's complete bullshit. That's for sure. I don't know why. I don't know who. That's a whole nother discussion. But I definitely think it came from a lab in China. That's my feeling on it after everything I've read. And, people were ostracized for that for months, and they were right for going down that road. You would get content blocked and all that shit. But I agree. Definitely a man-made virus. Gain of function research has a lot to do with it. And, the thing about it is when you look at everything that's out there, the profitability aspect of it that is really nefarious is that, are you profiting off something where it's not really a free market, right? You're kind of cornering the market. And that's okay, too, in a sense. But when you go and you say, and Biden said it, but he hasn't really taken any action. When you say, I want to, maybe they should loosen the patent restrictions, they're not doing it because of the money behind it. So what is it? Is it about serving people or is it about the money? How much money do you need, right? That's a whole nother thing. I am not getting the booster because I got the Pfizer. May I get it later? Possibly. I reserve the right to change my opinion. I know a lot of you listening to the show may have been like, oh, he's on for the booster. You're incorrect. That's where the surprise came. But if you want to get it and you got the Johnson & Johnson, I would suggest it because the data is out there for how long the effectiveness is of that current COVID shot. Let's not get cut off into politics, left versus right. I know plenty of Republicans, Democrats that have taken it, not taken it, whatever, and for other reasons. But all I got to say is this. They're trying to make you take it deep with the booster. Don't take it deep. Play it toxic. Anyway, Mike, you can drop that. I'll let you use that for a couple commercials for free.
Thank you.
I'm going to expect royalties on that, though.
Writing it down right now. And
you should.
Crumbling it up and in the trash.
That's right next to the newest toxic stickers. No. So, or the toxic Christmas tree, rather.
Wow.
No, I'm joking. It's a cute little tree. It really is. It's a nice little guy.
I don't appreciate.
I patted him on the head as soon as I walked in. And I was like, oh, what a nice little tree.
Did you peed on it?
No, I didn't pee on it. Not yet. I was saving that for the Christmas party.
Saves that for the Toxic Radio Christmas party. Nice.
But speaking of other worldwide organizations, I wanted to applaud the women's tennis who just called China's bluff. The WTA suspended all tournaments in China over tennis players Peng Shuai's sexual assault allegation against a former Chinese official. They actually had some balls, unlike the NBA, who bowed down to China because of financial ramifications. Now, the NBA is not the first nor the last to have done this. Nike, LeBron James, I can't be for equality and just pretend like people aren't getting shipped to a farm somewhere in China that are Uyghur Muslims. But, you don't know about that, right? So, that being said, lost a lot of respect for LeBron after that. Sorry. It's the way I call it, the way I see it. Can't wear a Kaepernick jersey and then and behind you just pretend like something doesn't exist because it affects your pocket. They did it in soccer with the Premier League. There was a guy on the Arsenal Soccer Club, who I happen to be a fan of. I don't know why I can't, remember his name, but pretty good soccer player from Turkey that happened to be Muslim, and he commented on it. And Arsenal and Premier League were worried about not being on Chinese TVs. So she made an allegation on, I believe it's called Weidu or Weibo, whatever. It's the Chinese, it's Weibo. It's a Chinese microblogging site because they don't use a lot of our American ones because they want all the data and they like to control it. So they've been wiping all her allegations off there. And, they're known for censoring stuff in China. They're pretty wrong for that. So, they pulled all their tennis matches. They said, fuck you guys, and or their tournaments. And I applaud them for that because they had some balls. And you know what? They don't make as much money as the NBA, not even close. And they did it anyway. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. Because I like to see people actually stand up for something instead of saying like, well, I am getting paid this much for it, so I can eat that Big Johnson and just take it. So, I appreciate their effort. And pretty serious, she makes an allegation, and then, if you're an American company, you're making money over there, and, they have such a big economy, so many people, we have to be like, oh, we're going to be quiet. How can we call ourselves representatives of free speech, but want to kowtow to the Chinese dollar or the yen? Go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that. And, they said she's free, but they're not convinced that Peng is free to speak, given persisting censorship around her and having continued calling for a full investigation. I don't see how we can ask our athletes to compete there when Peng Shuai is not allowed to communicate freely and seemingly pressured to contradict her allegation of sexual assault. So the WTA will do everything possible to protect its players, he said, as we do. And I hope leaders around the world will continue to speak out so justice can be done for Peng and all women, no matter the financial ramifications. On Wednesday, men's tennis world number one star Novak Djokovic said he fully supported the WTA stance, calling the decision very bold and very courageous. You know what? That makes me want to watch tennis. It really does. I kind of like tennis. My dad used to watch it, but I'm really proud of them for fucking standing up. I'm tired of people kowtowing to money. It doesn't rule everything. You can't take it to your grave. Grow a fucking set. That being said, about growing sets, we're going to see if you have a set when it comes to tipping. We know Mike doesn't, but we'll talk about that. So your order just sits there. DoorDasher claims, you might have seen this lady on TikTok, to show whole section dedicated to people who don't tip at McDonald's. Now, this is why I find this article kind of false and sneaky from the beginning. First off, I've done DoorDash, I've done Uber Eats, and I've done Grubhub. One of the worst places to have to pick up food is fucking McDonald's. Why? Because they don't give a fuck about you, the employees. They're not getting tipped at McDonald's. The driver's getting tipped. I don't know how much I'm getting tipped at McDonald's. If they had a no tipping section, I would fucking appreciate that shit. And be like, yeah, can I get the one for tipping? But it doesn't work like that. You're assigned a specific order, right? But if you do get a job and you're not tipped, or they haven't augmented it to look like you're getting tipped from a job, as a 1099 contractor, I'm using my car, I'm using my gas, have expenses for the car, so I can make a business choice of not taking your shitty order because you didn't want to tip. No problem. I appreciate that. Now, the lady talks about how, well, I got a tip for good service. Here's the thing about that lady. It's not just a driver. I'm not in there wrapping up the food. I'm not in there making the burger. I'm not making the fries. None of that shit's my responsibility. And if it's a McDonald's, especially in Philly, and it's past like 8 o'clock at night, I'm not even in the store. Sometimes I would be standing outside of the fucking window at the drive-thru with like 80 cars in there. And guess what? I can't control that. So if you want to make my tip predicated on your food, I'm just responsible for getting to you in a timely manner. Now, if you feel like it took too long, I wasn't there for your food, have at it. I get it. But if you're going to say, I'm going to continue on about this. And to me.
I did see this, and I have something to say when you have a second.
A TikToker who claims to be a DoorDash driver, as I was saying, showed her viral video. I didn't see the McDonald's one, but I saw the original lady who talked about it, and I actually commented on it. I told her, I said, enjoy not getting your food. So, in the video, TikToker, it's Jordan the model says Dasher gets to pick and choose which orders they want to take because they're independent contractors, which is true. But you don't really know what they're tipping you when you get picked, when you get the order.
Now, from what I actually saw this TikTok and then saw other TikToks that were related to it, and somebody who was either a Grubhub or Uber Eats driver said that the person who orders the food can choose to pre-tip or tip after. And what they said was the reason why the food is sitting there is because the drivers are deciding that if you don't pre-tip, they are not going to get your food. Only if you pre-tip. If you agree that you're going to tip afterwards, they're not getting your food.
Well, so here's the thing about that, and I've done this mission. The driver doesn't know if you pre-tipped or not. What they're going off is the amount of the actual delivery.
Okay, so the person I saw said that they knew if you had pre-tipped or not.
They're assuming that they might have not have tipped because it's a low order. So for me, if I have to drive X amount of miles when I was doing it, and I'm getting X amount of dollars, it doesn't make math sense to me to do it because I'm spending gas, I'm not spending tolls. So the whole idea here is when I order something from DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub, I only do Grubhub, but, for obvious reasons, those who know me, but I tip well because I know the business inside and out. Now, when I say tip well, you don't got to tip a lot. I just start $3 or more. I usually $3 standard tip, not a ton. No one's telling you to tip $10, $15. And the reason why I do that is because I know that the way it works is the order gets put in. They ping the driver, right? And what happens is a driver can decline it because he's an independent contractor. You can't say yes to take it because then you have to pay these guys an employee. As an employee then you have to pay them, and they got to be a regular, W-9, W-2, whatever employee. So they can do it. Now, they have percentages in there where if you flow below a certain percentage of how you accept the jobs, then you might get put off the platform, which will probably never happen, actually. They just say that. Or you might get you might not get certain priority for catering or bigger jobs. So you are making a business decision. You don't know that they're not tipping. You could guess that it's because of a tip because they pay you a little bit of money and there's a tip, right? So the lady says she wants to judge all that, but she's putting that on the driver. The driver has little control over how the food is prepared and packaged. One, if you notice in those McDonald's bags, what's on there? A sticker that has a seal. I don't go in a bag and check because I've had people who actually accuse me, not because the sticker fell off, that I ate some of their fucking chicken nuggets. And I felt attacked. I was like, just because I'm a big white guy, I eat your chicken nuggets? Is that how it works? Okay, fine. I wish I ate more. No, I didn't say that. But, people will do that and they get funny about that. And I get that because they don't want their food fucked with. I totally get that. So it's sealed 9 times out of 10. What restaurant you're coming from, especially bigger chain restaurants. So, if you want the guy to come right away, and you got to pay for it just like anything else. You want him to come right away? Guarantee if you put like a $5 to $10 tip on there, there's going to be someone that picks up that job because that's the difference there. There's a $3 to $4 job floating around and it's far and you want to tip afterwards. Drivers decline because they don't know if you're going to tip or not. And people want to act like just because you did a good job guarantees a tip. No, there's cheap motherfuckers out there. And I got to be honest. I kind of feel this way. When I've gotten tipped several times delivering McDonald's, but I feel like the odds are lower. Just taking it, and the financials have proven that. So, you got to be smart as a driver and go certain places. But I don't think, I'm going to read on this article. To assume that the driver has all the responsibility in it. I mean, if you don't want to tip the delivery driver, then get off your ass and do the pickup. It's less money. Or go your car and get it. Ride your bike over there. Get on your fucking skateboard. You'll pay less. And you'll get the not tip. Keep that money. And pay less of a delivery service fee. And your food will be less. Or you could buy another cheeseburger to stuff down your fucking throat. I don't know. I mean, there's a trade-off there. And the trade-off is here's this independent guy using his car. It's not, he's not a hired employee, right? It's not the same setting where, even though it's similar, but it's not where you're a waitress or waiter.
Where tipping you don't have to do.
Well, no, I think you should, but
you should, but you don't have to. Again,
well, you don't have to tip here
doesn't mean
either.
You have to. If I tell you you should do something, it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Do you wipe your ass? You should.
You don't have to.
Right. I mean, Sorry, Laura. But I just found a fact because I saw her on there, and I've been definitely playing around with TikTok a lot more. And as it continues on, the creator then proceeds to show on McDonald's with about 30 to-go bags that have yet to be picked up. Let me tell you something about that. This is where this story is bullshit. It's not waiting to be picked up because she's just doing it for the TikTok likes. I know for a fact it's not waiting to be picked up because of tips. I wish it had that kind of transparency. It's waiting to be picked up because McDonald's is fucking awful at getting the food out on time. They are awful. And why are they awful? Because they have this attitude like, you're lucky that we're letting you deliver our food. That's their attitude. That's the employee's attitude. They get to piss on delivery drivers now because they take shit all day. And I've experienced this. You're up to, okay, hey, can I be here to deliver your food? They're annoyed at you because they're annoyed, right? So you are the dog that they're going to kick or the punching bag. Those bags are sitting there because that's how fucking long it takes for McDonald's to do shit. Has nothing to do with the tip. This lady who posted this is full of shit. And I will tag her in this video, and I challenge her to call up, hit me on Twitter, THEEGODFRY, and tell me otherwise. I know for a fact. I've lived it. I've seen it. They are sitting there because they have a number on the bag that you give them, and this is what happens. If they're nice to you and say, hey, DoorDash, Uber Eats, or a Grubhub driver, I see you outside of the driver window, and they say, come get your bag. What do you need? You could get it quicker. But if it's nighttime, you now have to sit in that fucking drive-thru with everybody else. So it takes it's a nightmare for a driver when you go and there's 20 fucking cars in there. So you're thinking, okay, I don't want to make $5 an hour, so I got to get to this delivery. I know the food's fucking ready. That's why that shit's sitting there. This lady is 100% certifiable, full of shit, and she's doing it for the gram because that's not how it works there. And I guarantee you, McDonald's doesn't care. The franchise owner doesn't care. So the way that you deal with it as a driver to make them change is you say, fuck you, I'm not taking a McDonald's order. And that's how you get them to do it. Because then all that food will sit there and go bad or never get there because the drivers aren't taking that shit anymore. And that's what I started to do when I used to drive. Like, I'm not taking it anymore. Cancel. No, thank you. I'm not going to be sitting in a drive-thru for 45 fucking minutes. I'd rather go to Papa Giorgio's Pizzeria, pick that up, boom, get $2-3. You know who? And you know why I know it's bad and it's bullshit and it's their process and not just being crowded? I can go to a Chick-fil-A that is fucking bombed with people 2 rows around the building. And as a delivery driver, they make sure that I get the food quick so the customer could get the food quick. I go up to the door. Hey, what's your order? They say, please, thank you. They're polite. They're nice. They don't treat you like a piece of shit. And you get the food, you're gone. And they are swamped and they move and they keep it moving. Some of you guys don't like the Chick-fil-A guy, but they know how to run a fast food joint. So that being said, that's why this lady's full of shit. I know she is. She just did it for the views. That's all it was for. There's no way. There's no way drivers know that. They wish they would know that, and they hate going to McDonald's. And here's the trick that I'll teach you guys. I'm not going to bore you more with that. Is that the reason why McDonald's gets flooded like that, and certain Grubhub stops delivering, at least in the Philly area, probably about 11 o'clock. But everybody else will go to 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And the reason why they do that, okay, is this. The McDonald's of the world is one of the few places that are still open. So therefore, they're the ones that get the order. Cheaper food. They're still paying a high premium price for this food. So, that's what happens. All the drive-thru gets clogged up. I mean, I've done it in South Philly, and I got to tell you, this lady's full of shit. I would love, I should contact you. Be like, hey, would you like to come on and just talk about your video? I mean, Mike, do I sound like I'm credible here, or does this? I mean,
you know your stuff.
Yeah,
I will have to say on this topic, you know your stuff.
Most Dashers will not take an order if there's no tip because the DoorDash only pays $2.50 per delivery. Not necessarily true, and I'm going to tell you why that's not. Because there's certain times in the evening where they pay more per delivery because it's it's busier. Okay. And at nighttime, that's when that happens at McDonald's a lot because people mostly order at nighttime. The volume of the food delivery is happening at nighttime. It does happen during the day, don't get me wrong, and there's still a lot of business. So there is no time that I've ever seen of the thousands of rides I've ever done where an order was $2.50. She's full of shit. The lowest I've seen, and this was Uber Eats, was $3.30. I've never seen that. So, listen. But this moral of the story is, if you do want your food there quick, for example, I'll go to a Chicky and Pete's, there'll be a tip on that one. They want their crab legs. They want their bullshit fries that are overrated fries, with their cum sauce that they put on the fries, the American cheese. I know Gene's with me on that. And that guy steals tips. But anyway, I'll never be sponsoring this show. I wouldn't take his money. That being said, you'll get a tip from those people 9 times out of 10, not all the time. You get a curmudgeon out of there. But those people know that if they want to get their shit quick, throw a couple extra dollars. That simple. If you don't want to and you just want to take it the way the ecosystem brings it to you, then don't tip. You'll eventually get it. And it'll go ping, 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 ping. I'll take the job, and then they go. Then what will happen is there'll be a driver that's not that far from you, and then he'll take that job, and they'll piggyback it on another delivery. So therefore, it doesn't look like it's $250. It's like $750. So I think I've dissected that pretty well, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Elbow drop that like Macho Man from the top fucking rope.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, brother. Snap it to a Slim Jim. Do you think he had bad digestive problems because he used to get a lot of Slim Jims? I mean, Slim Jims fuck you up.
I mean, I'm sure he had to take a suppository or two.
Oh, yeah. And it probably carried him around in that little duffel bag they had on the front.
Fanny pack.
The fanny pack. I wonder if we get a wrestler on here to tell us what the fanny pack starter kit is for wrestlers, like what is in there. I'm going to guess like some pills.
Yeah, it was their steroids.
Painkillers. Just steroids? Though?
Steroids, yeah. Steroids and painkillers. That's exactly what was in there.
Yeah. So this got 2.8 million. So a different TikToker used a duet function and argued that a tipping is a satisfactory service garnering over 2.8 million views. It means if I'm satisfied with how you bring me my motherfucking food, I'm going to tip you. Okay. Continue to argue that tipping should be done after a customer gets the order. That's all right. You could do that, and there'll be a driver out there that will take it. Capitalism. Have a nice day. Not this guy. I'm not going to Upper Darby for $3. Peace. So, that being said, yeah, if you want your food quicker, moral story, tip the driver more. If you don't, sit back, relax, smoke a J, and then just enjoy it when it gets there. Maybe your cheeseburger won't be cold. Funny story is, I did a long night of driving, and I went up to the wrong house, and this guy looked up, and I didn't realize he looked surprised at first, right? And I was off by a couple doors. It was a close street, and he looked outside like this. He was like looking both ways, like he's like, "Wow, I just got blessed with a free meal." And I definitely took the McDonald's to the wrong door. The driver called me up. He was like, "Yeah," or no, the customer like, "Yeah, you said that to the wrong place." I was like, "I did?" Like I must have got dyslexic. The numbers were reversed. And so the guy got the food back, but that motherfucker damn right well knew that wasn't his food. He was like, hey, I just got blessed with McDonald's, like an Amazon drone just dropped a fresh bag of fucking fries on his stoop. Jerk off. Some like old looking white guy. He was like, wow, this is my lucky day. I guess he needed to eat. So, whatevs. I don't know if you knew this or not. There is an asteroid coming toward Earth. Did you know that? It's in the shape of a penis. No, it's not. I'm joking. So, concerning asteroid will break into Earth's orbit in a week. Now, I've read a little bit of this story. NASA said this. This is the New York Post doing clickbait. There is not a giant asteroid that's going to hit the Earth, but I always thought it was interesting. It's warned that a giant asteroid bigger than the Eiffel Tower will break into Earth's orbit in just over a week. The 1,082-foot space rock is heading our way and should skim past us on December 11th. NASA has an eye on this asteroid. The 4660 Neurosis became, it's well over 492 foot long and will become within 4.6 million miles of the Earth. Wow. So we're concerned. Sounds like we're taking it deep. So there needs to be no panic, though, as the asteroid Neurosis isn't expected to impact Earth. Do you see how misleading that is? Is that misleading a little bit? The headline, concerning asteroid will break into Earth's orbit in a week, NASA says.
A misleading headline on the internet? No.
And
Tell me it's not so.
And the New York Post, too.
Yeah, that's what they all do. It's normalcy. It's the what is it called? Fuck. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway.
Conolingus?
That's what clickbait. It's all clickbait. That's what they do.
Is that what they call it these days?
Not these days. What the fuck?
Oh, clickbait. I didn't
God
know that.
damn, you're old.
That Wi-Fi. Is our Wi-Fi working? So, anyway, with that being said, that's all we got for you today, folks. I hope I gave you some laughs and some education at the same time. We try to keep it light and educational at the same time on Taking It Deep with the Godfrey. And I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to get at me, or maybe if you want to contact that girl on TikTok and see if she wants to call into the show, we could fire up the phone lines and kick the mouse in the ass, get them on the pinwheel. Or the, what do they call that thing, the hamster wheel? That's how we power the phone lines here. They get on the hamster wheel and we're on, we feed them toxic sour candy that we give away at events. He loves it. But anyway, with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. As always, everybody's presence is greatly appreciated. Share, like, and, give your mom a Taking It Deep gift card for Christmas that has a link here. If you want that, I swear I'll make it for you. But I swear I will. I'll make it by hand. I'll just draw it. Just draw it and I'll sign it with Crown. Mike will do that too. We'll get him to put like lipstick on and kiss the card. But you can listen to us on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio. The video you also can get on youtube.com/playatoxic. The website, the app, iTunes, like I said, search Taking It Deep and you'll find it. With that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. For all my Birds fans out there and football fans, 7 o'clock for the Birds Deep podcast. And this is the Godfrey not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.